Hi everyone, welcome to the second take of this video. The phone just rang. I don't have facility to pause my videos on my iPhone because it's an older model. I also notice you're a bit skew-if, but I'm not going to jiggle with that. It was probably a good thing to stop because I did need a cough lolly. I was coughing a lot through the first take. So, right, welcome to this edition of Flosstube, where I share my weekly progress in doing 8 projects, which might not seem a lot to a lot of people, but I've always been one at a time. This year is my first go at doing loads, so I'm recording my progress and sharing with like-minded people. I'd like to welcome you all if you've been here before and say hello to the new subscribers. Nice to see you, so to speak. Sorry. I haven't got a whole heap of stitching to show you. It's not, wow. I do have a small victory though. I actually missed 3 stitching days last week. I was reading. I really wanted to get my book finished so that I could start one of the newer books I've got. So I was either up late reading and then I was too tired to stitch the next day, or I was reading all day and I wasn't going to stitch. So anyway, if I take it slowly, it's just going to take longer to get done, but it'll get done. Okay, so today is day 2 of project 4, so I've got projects 2, 3 and 4 to share with you today. As I say, there's not a whole heap to show you, but there is a small victory. I've got a cough lolly, don't need to cough. Right, project 2 is the village of Hawk Run Hollow, and I have finished block 1. When I showed you last week, I still had a little bit here to do and then a bit more of the border, so if I just hold it in there for you, that's what I have been working on. I started this block, this whole chart, on the 5th of January. So it's taken quite a while to do one block. So this really is a 2 or 3 year project, although I'm thinking next year, if I continue with my sort of 8 projects like I have done this year, I'm going to give this 2 slots to try and just churn it through a little bit quicker and not have it hanging around for years and years and years, because my fear will be that I will just give up on it because it's taking forever. So yeah. So project 1, and we have one 99.5% finished block. What I haven't done is all the back stitching. You can see these little dots here, there's a little bit in the water. They all have long strands of grass. And I decided, because I'm stitching in hand, you can see how this already rolls up naturally. I was afraid of catching it as I was rolling on holding the fabric, so what I've decided to do is that I will finish the back stitching bit then when I have finished the first row. So I've got blocks 1, 2 and 3 on the top, and then it starts down here. So when I come to start this block, I will go back and do any back stitching along the top row that needs doing. So there we go, there's some little fishies. The lighting's not brilliant today, we've got a very dull day here and I've had to put the overhead light on. So I'm chuffed with that. As much as I'm chuffed with it, it doesn't make me think how long is this going to take me to do. As I say, next year I'll probably give it 2 slots. Right, project 3 is Harvest Keeper by Plum Street Samplers, and I'm working around here. I have added, I was a little bit lazy with this because I know this gets extra days now because I'm trying to get it finished by the end of August. I'm like, oh, well, if I don't do it today, I've still got 4 more days this rotation to do it on, so not good. I've done some more of the bee skip, and I have added in the branches down here so that I can get the leaves and the acorns added in. There's actually not a whole heap of this corner left to do. I've got to do the tree trunk, finish that, there's a bee and a heart, and then just the acorns and leaves across the bottom. So if I make sure I pull my finger out, and it's got 4 more days this rotation, I'll try and get that corner finished in those 4 days. Project 4 is Garden Club series by Blackbird Designs, and this is block 3, so I'm just starting block 3, and I have got a small start, literally. Where are we? So there's just a line here, just the start of that. There's the other 2 blocks already finished. Doesn't show up that well with this lighting. So I'll do a little bit more of that this afternoon after I've uploaded the video. That's my lot just about. I don't have any haul. The package that I've got coming from 123 Stitch with part 4 of Farmhouse Christmas has cleared customs, but it hasn't come to me yet, so at the earliest it might be tomorrow, but it might not be till Wednesday, so next week I shall have it. There are 5 charts in there, and I can't remember what one of them is, so that'll be a nice surprise, reminding myself what I've got. I know 3 are market releases from this year. Oh, I know what the 5th one is. It's another one of the Prairie School alphabets to get that finished, which means there's only 1 more chart left to get after this. Okay, that's all my stitching. Just a very brief book. So I finished Anne Boleyn, which I found very interesting. The thing that stayed with me the most is actually the end of the book. She is one of 2 of Henry VIII's wives that was beheaded. That there's this, I always remember, what is it, divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. I can never remember the order of the last 3 wives. I will find out eventually. But she was beheaded. And there is a contemporary account, someone who actually observed the beheading, who said that once her head, she was put, a blindfold was put on her, but when her head fell, the blindfold moved, and apparently her head, her eyes and her mouth moved after she had been beheaded. And it's very freaky the way Alison Ware writes that, actually. It's like, but then in her author's notes at the back, she talks about that there's been a lot of research about how the brain can still function for up to 30 seconds after a beheading. How they know this, I really don't know, and I don't want to know. But it was quite fascinating that this contemporary account, which could have just been scaremongering or gossip or something like that, could actually be true because of scientific research in more recent years. So yeah, so Anne is done, and I happened to be nosing in one of our local shops here, and I got part 3, which is all about Jane Seymour. What intrigues me, I'm not sure what the right word is. Jane Seymour is as thick as Anne Seymour. Anne Boleyn. Jane Seymour is as thick as Anne Boleyn. Now I know there was a lot of hoo-ha with Anne Boleyn because of her ambition and then the plot to get rid of her and everything like that. Goodness knows what they're going to talk about with Jane Seymour, because from my history I know that she gave birth to the son that Henry wanted, even though he never really survived into adulthood, and then she died. So there's an awful lot to discover, really, actually. Says Jane Seymour, the Haunted Queen. Oh, look, still got half a warehouse sticker on it. Oh, I think I tried to get it off and it was going to make an awful mess. Oh no. Yeah, so this, I'm not going to read this for a while. I'm going to go back to the Thomas Jefferson, Sally Heming books now, and read those, and the one about the slave of George Washington's as well. So I've got a year basically before part 4 comes out, so I've got a year to read this. Although I am intrigued why there's so much about her, because I really didn't think there was a lot to Jane Seymour. But that's, you know, history that you learn at school, and I guess that they, what's the word? Censure isn't the right word, but I guess they don't, you don't get all the nitty gritty, like with Jane Seymour. By the way, if I'm waffling and you've got no interest, feel free to shut me up and turn me off. I couldn't remember what led them to behead Anne Boleyn, and discovered that they said she had had affairs with 3 men. That I don't ever remember from school, so I suspect that it was very loosely covered and glossed over, and moved on to more other things than discuss that sort of thing. So I'm finding it very fascinating, and obviously it's all written from documents from the time, letters, people's diaries. So, you know, while Alison Ware takes license in talking about her, what each queen feels or thinks, a lot of the interaction in everyday stuff is based on historical record, which I find thoroughly fascinating. New Zealand is less than 200 years old officially, you know, and to have, I mean, I remember when I lived in England, I went to Hatfield House, which was near where I used to live, and there are gloves there that Queen Elizabeth I used to wear, and things like that. The stuff that hangs around that long just fascinates me. So anyway, I have waffled. That is my lot, and I've managed to waffle for 6 minutes, which I think is a record, possibly. So I have got 2.5 days of Blackbird designs to do, the Garden Series Club, and then I'm into my free days, and I will give at least 2 of them to Harvest Keeper, and then I'll see what else I do on those days, and then we'll be into, today is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so Monday I will be on to Project 5, which is Santa's Village. Okay, that's all. I haven't been watching a lot of Flosstube other than the few regular channels I watch. I haven't seen any new people lately, primarily because I'm binge watching an RV channel at the moment. So when I'm on YouTube I tend to be watching that rather than anything else. I have a little fear that my love of cross stitch is diminishing a little bit, but I will just keep pushing on, watching videos, buying stash, and yeah, anyway, I must go because I am just waffling. I hope you have a good week, that you stitch everything you wish to stitch, and I will see those of you who are interested back here next week to see progress on at least 2 that I've shown you, and maybe another one, I don't know yet, we'll see. Okay, take care everyone, bye bye.